Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sosin Classes Meet the Toppers session. I'm honored to introduce you the speaker of the day, Mr. Mourya Bharadwaj, who secured All India Rank 28 in UPSC CSE 2021. Congratulations, sir. So he's from Ankappally district, and both of his parents are working in a government sector. And he pursued BTech, and he's studying in NIT Warangal. And he has a vast experience in working in software firms, and from the young age he started working. Simultaneously, he also prepared for UPSC. His UPSC journey was not easy, but with his relentless determination and consistency, he attempted UPSC 5 times, and every time he cleared prelims, and 3 times he cleared mains. And he had an experience of attending personality test 3 times, and finally in 5th attempt he cleared UPSC with All India Rank 28. And I'm pretty sure you all will get motivated, and it will help you all in your UPSC journey. His talk would be very insightful, and he's also a student of Sosin ma'am. So before starting this session, I would request Ms. Sosin ma'am to hand over the bouquet and welcome the guest. I also request Susan ma'am to open the session with few warm words. So Susan ma'am will be speaking.
Good morning, all. Thank you so much for coming on a very short notice. Because Mourya was running out of time, and we had to schedule his talk with you at a very short notice. And so first of all, I thank him and thank you all for being here. And I also thank especially the parents who have joined the session. Because today is his day and his day with you. I would keep my talk very short and cute. Generally, men teachers kada ganta kodute gaani kinda digamu. But then somehow today I don't have that luxury. There are a couple of things that I want to tell you and then hand him over to you. As far as examination preparation and how closely I try to take the students to the exam is concerned, whatever topics, whatever subjects that we take up, we try to see to it that we go close to UPSC. And when it comes to the general studies programs, etc., I am reserving all those details to be spoken on the 12th of this month, when we are going to have another session with about 7 or 8 toppers who are going to meet you on that day. And both of us actually, we thought, given his schedule, an individual topper to students talk is also necessary, so that his entire profile, all the zeal that you have, all the questions that you have, you can perhaps put across to him. And he was a part of our Anthropology program, where I have this dictum, how to write right. That's very much important. And consistently writing, and what are the rules to be followed in writing. And that forms actually the key. And as Harshni was also mentioning about Mourya, consistency, patience and perseverance is something that is very, very important, because this exam is not easy. I'm not trying to discourage people who are first timers or who are thinking of taking the exam now, deciding to write the exam. But then the moment you have decided to take this exam, you are a class apart from the rest of the crowd in the country, because you have chosen something that others did not dare choose to attempt. There itself you have won a major battle. And after that, when you are trying to go through the examination process, if at all things go bad and then things go south, you couldn't actually make it through, that is where you are tested time and again in this exam. A very long drawn exam where your patience, your morale, everything is hit very hard, and that is where you have to rise up and give the exam again, and that's the testimony here. So don't See, I see people, whenever we see a successful student in UPSC, the first thing people ask is, how many attempts you have given? ఎన్నో అటెంప్ట్లో వచ్చింది ఇదే క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అప్రిసియేట్ దాట్ ద స్టూడెంట్ హ్యాడ్ క్లియర్డ్ ద ఎగ్జామ్. అండ్ see, I sometimes see the kind of I do not know the right word to say, but then okay, fourth time, third time, okay, not the first time. You understand what I'm saying? That is something that should not happen, because when somebody had made it through, making it through is important. Secondly, how hard the journey had been, the power of getting back and bouncing back to work, and that is where your personality is actually tested. I hope you understood. So with all that patience and perseverance, what he has secured is not a small thing. And then you remember, out of those 5 to 6 lakhs of people who are attempting at the exam, if you are there in those 600, 700, I think in the years to come the numbers will definitely go down. You should be prepared for that. But then those 500, 700 numbers, out of which somebody is coming in that top 100, I mean, it's incredible. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for the kind words. And I'm very happy and excited to see you all. And however, the environment was very serious. I need more smiling faces, because you need to smile a lot in this examination. Throughout the examination, you need to be happy for a long period of time. Then only you can perform well. That is my philosophy. So coming to my introduction, as ma'am introduced me, you might be knowing about me. My name is Mourya Bharadwaj. I got rank 28, All India rank 28 in the recently announced UPSC 2021 results, and it's my 5th attempt. I started my preparation in 2017, and right from that time I was giving consistently this examination. Every year I cleared prelims, and 3 times I cleared mains. And in my 3rd interview, I mean this 5th attempt, I was able to get this rank. And my association with Sosin madam also I have to discuss. So ma'am's Anthropology test series, I was a student of that in 2017, that is in my 1st attempt. Later on, as you all might be knowing, madam is the top faculty for Anthropology in this country. So I had to shift from Delhi to Hyderabad for her guidance, and in 2018 I was a student of madam's home batch. Ma'am used to conduct a home batch where she used to dedicatedly train few students for answer writing and all. So I was a student of that program in 2018. So this is by association with Sosin ma'am. Next, I would like to give a brief introduction about the approach we have to take for this examination. A small overview. Later on I'll let you ask questions. We'll make it more of a Q&A session rather than me telling a one-way conversation. I think that would be better. You might be having lot of doubts. Most of you might be at a different phase of, different phases of this preparation. Some might already have given at least once or twice. Some might have just entered into this field. So I'll keep my whatever I'm going to say very generic. You ask more specific questions, I'll try to address whatever your concerns are. So regarding regarding the pattern of examination, preliminary examination yesterday got concluded, and I heard, I did not see the question paper completely, but I heard from many of my friends that paper was as usually tough. Like, this is the common thing. Last 5 years I was writing. Every year after writing, coming out of the examination, newspapers or many blogs report this, that this is the toughest UPSC paper in last 20 years. So in 2018 it was like that, 2019 it was like that, 20 it was like that, 21, and today, even like yesterday also, I saw the first alert, Google alert I got was 2022 paper was the toughest in last 20 years. So the bottom line behind this is the exam, UPSC tries to make this preliminary examination very unpredictable. So it whatever you have learnt, you have to apply, you have to be sharp in those 2 hours, and you have to be very much focused. You should not panic for the uncertainties or uncertainties you face in those 2 hours. Those who are mentally very strong, they will be able to clear this preliminary examination, because paper, it is trying to set the paper in such a way that these shortcuts won't work basically. You might be seeing a lot of, you know, tips to elimination, shortcuts, so these things won't work. You have to stick to a standard process, like revise my basic books multiple times, practice this tests, and develop that aptitude of answering MCQs. Then with that standard set process, you will be able to clear this examination. Don't go for shortcuts. Work hard for this stage of examination also. It is a people might be thinking that this score won't be added to the final you know, marks, but this is a screening exam and it eliminates most of your competitors. Like 5 lakhs people write prelims every year and hardly 10,000 will be writing mains. So most of your competitors will be eliminated. It's an elimination exam basically. It's not a selection exam. So keep that in mind. Give the due respect prelims needed. Don't give too much respect, but practice enough so that you should be confidently clearing the preliminary examination. And coming to mains, we have 3 parts. All of you I think might be familiar with the examination pattern, right? So I'll just essay, GS 4 papers and optional. I think most of you are anthropology optional students only. If not also, please bear with that section. GS we have 4 papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4 and Anthro 2 papers. So essay, with respect to essay also, if someone is following the pattern of this examination for the last few years, you might be seeing the questions have become very abstract and generic. There were times in 2016 and 2017-18 that topics used to come from themes like, you know, women empowerment or agriculture or artificial science and technology. So if you know that specific knowledge, you might be able to write the essay properly. But now the things have changed. If you see right from 2018 or 19, they have started one section, they are giving some philosophical topics. Where you have to write one philosophical essay, and the section B they were giving normal, like a theme-wise essay. But last year they surprised us. Both the sections they gave philosophical topics. I somehow anticipated the day before itself that they are going to surprise us, and they indeed surprised us. So the problem with this is whatever knowledge, a lot of people think that by reading general studies they can tackle essays. But if topics like philosophical topics like this come, right, in examination hall, solely by preparing GS, I don't think you will be able to tackle those topics. You have to practice them. You have to practice writing essays. As ma'am was also discussing with me, I mean, they are also trying to incorporate this habit among students that at least monthly 2 essays they're planning to write. I think it's a very good idea. Once you start writing, you will know what weaknesses you have, because these essays require you to explore broad dimensions. Once you get the knack of writing such essays, right, actually they are very scoring than the very narrow theme-based essays, because you can write anything under the sun, but you need to relate it to the topic. So that is the thing. So practice is the key with respect to essay, and essay is a very important component because you know, in GS 1, 2, 3, the difference between an extraordinary copy or an exceptional copy and an average copy will be very less. If you write very good, you might be getting 100 or 105. If you write above average or average, you might be getting 95 to 100. So 5-10 marks variation will be there. But essay, it will be different. If you write a very good essay, you might score up to 140, 150s. And if your essay by any chance has gone bad, you will fall as low as 90s and 80s. So the 50-60 marks, it will be very decisive. So essay is one such paper. So enough practice should be required for essay. And with respect to GS, GS1, GS2, GS3, these 3 are similar kind of papers. Again, GS4 is different because GS4 is ethics, and it requires all of us to, you know, relate our personal experiences and also link thinkers, philosophers, their views, not too much, but at least somewhat into the answers. So it requires a different kind of approach. It requires a lot of practice, the case studies as well as even the section A questions. Enough, again, ethics is also one such paper which can differentiate a lot. A very good paper can fetch up to 120, 125, and subpar paper will leave you at 90s. So 20-25 marks you will get. So the general funda, in general the funda for clearing or succeeding in this examination is normally people say essay plus ethics and optional. These 3 are very scoring. I am not suggesting you to neglect the other papers, but these 3 requires this special emphasis. That is my personal, my view. And Yeah, anthropology, as I said, ma'am is one of the top faculties of this country, and her notes itself is very high quality. I mean, her ma'am's theories. There's a section called theories in anthropology that whatever madam's classes notes are there. They're very good. Also, apart from madam, what worked well for me is there are many toppers who have generously uploaded their notes in internet. Last year toppers, previous year's toppers, many toppers they have uploaded online. So just download one or two toppers ka notes and see how they are making notes. I am not saying to copy blindly, but see how they are making notes. You will get to know what is required for this examination, how they are incorporating examples, how they are incorporating case studies, what sort of diagrams they are drawing for anthropology. So that also works. Apart from that will be an add-on to what ma'am's classes will be. So that is with respect to anthropology. And also ma'am and myself were discussing just previously. So a lot of people think that UPSC is unpredictable. It is unpredictable, but there are some predictable areas when if you work strongly on such areas, if you anticipate those areas and work enough on them, it will be advantageous to you. For example, anthropology, a lot of questions were repeated from previous year questions or test series questions. In fact, I remember ma'am used to, I mean in 17-18 when I attended ma'am's test series, ma'am used to give a topic called Olduvai Gorge in 10 markers. It was never asked earlier. So I thought, why madam is giving into such a very, vague areas and all. In 19 the question came in the examination. So I mean, teachers with their experience, they can anticipate what sort of questions will come. So sometimes it is good to have such guidance. It will definitely help. It will, help you predict what sort of questions will. Every year, I think ma'am will release a list of expected areas from anthropology. I'm not saying that everything will directly come out of such a list, but it is good to be prepared so that when opportunity comes, like when opportunity comes and when a question from a known area comes into the paper, right, you can complete it fast and you can be more confident and you can tackle the unknown questions with a more, better approach. That is my intent. And yeah, I also want to discuss about significance of writing in this examination. I am basically weak with respect to writing, and that's why it took me so long. I have to correct myself. I basically hate writing, frankly speaking. But this exam demands writing. If you want to clear this examination, you have to start loving writing someday or the other. Without that, I think it will be very difficult. So put in those hours which are required. Practice answer writing for all, like as I have discussed earlier, essay or GS or optional. Put in those hours of writing. Write a good number of tests before appearing to the mains examination, because mains, as you all be knowing, has the highest weightage in this entire process, around 1750 marks. So your writing skills only will sail you through this examination. So give enough emphasis on writing. And yeah, there is one more aspect we were discussing, ma'am and myself were discussing, mentorship. I say that mentorship is will also form an integral part of your preparation journey. Maximum students will take coaching for 1 year, but if God forbid they had to pursue this journey for longer period of time, like in my case, I had to write for 5 years. So having a mentor, support of a mentor will be very crucial in this journey, because you will be writing, he is the one who is going to, check your copies and suggest what are the areas you are lagging in and what are the areas you have to improve, and you work on that, you come back to that mentor again, and he can guide. Basically, it is going to be the person who is going to guide you through this journey. He acts as a support system with respect to the demand of the examination. So having a mentor or a mentorship will definitely help, at least in my experience. So that is one more aspect. And yeah, last is personality test. As you might be knowing, out of the 10,000 who has written this mains, some 2,000 people will be called for personality test. It is going to be a very beautiful journey. Preparing for personality test itself is a very good experience, in my opinion. You will be learning about yourself. You will be revisiting your life, your journey. It's a very exciting process. You will be meeting a lot of people. lot of senior members, I mean, if you, lot of senior bureaucrats, you will observe like how they are behaving, and yeah, I mean that process itself, try to enjoy that process, you will definitely score well in the personality test. So these are the basic pointers I want to highlight. And yeah, this exam requires, as ma'am said, and I was also saying, this exam requires a lot of perseverance. It requires temperament, because it's a very long run examination. Even one attempt exam, it will take almost 1 year of your life, and in 1 year lot of things will happen in your life. So facing all of them, you have to focus, be focused on this examination. I have seen many aspirants, they will be very determined and focused till preliminary exam. Somewhere they lose focus between pre and mains, maybe because of the excessive stress, or maybe because of the some or the other reason, and they I mean they somehow won't be able to clear mains. Or some people I have seen prelims and mains, till prelims and mains they will be very focused and committed, but in between mains and mains result, or in between mains and result, somehow they lose, they get distracted. They think, they get overconfident after clearing mains, and they don't give enough emphasis on interview. And in interview they get poor scores, and they will be, they unfortunately couldn't make it into the list. So every stage of the examination, be very committed. And my sincere advice is, though it took me 5 attempts, every attempt I gave with a zeal to clear it this time only. Unfortunately, I could not make it, that's a different story, but that focus and the commitment level should not drop. When you decided to give an attempt, it may be first attempt or it may be 5th attempt, give it with the same enthusiasm and passion, and success will definitely come one day or the other. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So now we'll have a Q&A session, and I request everyone to use this opportunity and clear all your queries regarding your UPSC journey. Any questions?
Hello sir, a hearty congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Actually, I wanted to know what is the difference between your strategy in the past 4 attempts and this attempt?
So as I said, almost all my attempts, my strategy was similar only. I did not make any major changes. I believed in a process because I have read multiple toppers talks. I mean, I have attended multiple toppers seminars like how you are attending now, and I have read many articles, and I came to know a lot of toppers who cleared this examination. They what differentiated them from the rest of the crowd is they did the basic things sincerely. Like for example, if you take mains, they write good number of tests so that they don't feel that lethargy in examination. They will be in touch by the time they write mains examination. So I was also doing the same thing, but I think maybe because of my my earlier attempts I could not clear because I was not so interested in writing, and somehow I procrastinated writing tests, good number of tests, and I'm very scared. I used to be scared of writing full length tests for anthropology. Like I think my second attempt, first attempt or second attempt, I used to write sectional tests, but the final, like the full length test, right, I was always scared, and I wrote the first final full length test in my actual UPSC hall. So avoid doing such things, do good practice and go to the examination, and over the period of time, I mean like by third or fourth attempt, I was able to overcome this lethargy about writing, and I was committed to my process, and eventually it worked out well. There is no significant change. One thing I did was I used to see the toppers copies a lot, whatever they have uploaded in the internet. I used to see toppers copies, and I used to analyze the patterns, understand the patterns, like what is working for them. Most of the toppers, they have some commonality. What is the commonality I observed is, given 20 questions in a paper, they exhibit consistency in almost 16-17 answers. Consistency means a lot of people, what they do is they start writing questions very well. Like the first 5 questions will be extraordinary, presentation wise and content wise. Later on they realize that they are running out of time, and they simply start scribbling in the paper, and they think they have written well, but this consistency won't be there. Few answers will be underlined, few answers won't be underlined. So when someone sees your paper, right, it should reflect your mindset. Some of the toppers copies, I used to feel like that, because when I see their papers, right, I used to see all the answers were very uniform, very consistent. The underlining was there till end. You may underline or you may not underline, but follow that uniformity across the answers. follow that consistency. Examiner should not think that you are panicking in the examination, because this service requires you to be calm and composed all the time. If you are panicking in the examination, you won't be rewarded well. So that is it.
What is the good time to start a test series for the prelims?
For prelims.
For prelims.
If it is your first attempt, I would suggest you start 4 or 5 months earlier, the test series. Like seriously, like test series means every week you give tests like that, at least 4 or 5 months before. If it is your later attempts, and if you are, if you think that you are somewhat confident in prelims, 2 months is sufficient. It is my view. I mean, it can be subjective.
Thank you.
Marks in the mains examination.
This year?
Yeah, GS1, GS2, Anthropology.
Okay, so Anthropology I got 297 marks this year. Paper 1 I got 149, paper 2 I got 148, and GS1 I got 108, GS2 is 113, GS3 is 91, and GS4 is 105. Essay got 122 marks.
Sir, there is some unpredictability in the mains also.
Okay.
Regarding Anthropology, there is some it's so much of static, so we can expect some questions beforehand from the previous year paper.
Yes.
But there are some questions which are coming in the years. Like there was a question in again regarding deep ecology.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you know about it beforehand, and how did you face it in the examination? Like after reading something called deep ecology, did you know it beforehand?
See, as I say, as you have mentioned, there are some questions which you know well beforehand. When you face uncertain questions in examination, right, try to answer the questions which you know better, and in the uncertain questions, try to relate to what you have learned as a part of this journey. So I don't know what exactly is deep ecology. I honestly accept it, but I know something it is related to ecology, and the question is something related to animism, right? So animism, we have this nature man spirit complex. So you have to start linking with what you have learned with these uncertain areas, and you will be able to deal such questions better in exam hall.
Sir, there are questions that we don't even know about it. Is there any chance that we should take the question or write something regarding it, or we should definitely leave it?
So if you absolutely don't know anything about it, please don't bluff in the examination. Examiners will punish it actually. If you don't know anything, it's okay to leave it and deal the questions which you know better. But such questions are very rare, like hardly one question, For example, in paper 2, and I believe you are from Anthro optional, paper 2, they might ask some thinkers who in 10 markers, like Robert Bruce Fruit or somebody, you might absolutely have no clue about him. If you write something vague, right, it will actually examiner who is reading that, he'll get really angry and it won't reflect well. So it's okay, 1 or 2 questions, it is fine, but write the questions which you know properly. That's what, give enough time for the questions which you know, and these questions you can deal with a very short time.
What should be the strategy of someone who is attempting this year's mains regarding these 3 months? How should he go? How should he practice test series? When should he write test series? Should he write daily answer writing about optional and GS?
Okay, so with respect to this mains, writing is a very important component. I said somebody, am I audible, right? I mean, I feel it's breaking sometime. Okay. So with respect to answer writing, you have to practice daily. I'll tell what I did. You can pick up if you are, you like that approach. So what I did was daily, at least I used to practice 5 questions, 5 questions within the 30 minutes, so that my writing speed will be proper. I used to practice writing in such a way. At the same time, I made 3 full-length tests, 3 rounds of full-length tests. In between prelims and mains for GS as well as optional. Optional, I think I was able to do 2 rounds of full-length test and 1 round of full-length test between GS and optional exams that 1 week. So with that practice, right, I was able to do well in the examination.
So first of all, a hearty congratulations to you for securing All India Rank 28. What went in your mind after being eliminated, after being attended 2 times of interview?
So actually there's no much time, like last year I could not make it, but prelims was in next 10 days. So it was like, okay, I have to write exam again, let's focus on that. So last year was pretty good for me because there was no much gap between 2020 interview result and 2021 pre-result. And there's no much gap between pre and mains also. So there's no much time to think about my failure. So I was more, thinking about the next exam, what was the next exam and what to do. So, and I mean, the only time I thought about those failures was I was just thinking what might have possibly gone wrong, and trying to improve it. Like last year also, I got Anthro paper 2 very low score, like I got 110 marks I think in 2020, and the paper was actually easy. Paper 1 was difficult, but paper 2 was easy last year. And I thought I wrote well, but I thought I got only 110 marks. But still, I mean, I stuck to the same sources. I thought maybe presentation wise I have to do something better. I referred the toppers copies which were being uploaded in the internet, and I tried to emulate them basically in the examination. That's all I did. Basically, I did not think much about the failures because there's no much time. If you got eliminated in interview, right, next prelims is hardly a few days. So you have to be strong, not think too much about the failure. If you are committed towards if you think that you have to give the next attempt, just start thinking about the next attempt. Always be futuristic, don't get stuck in the past.
What's your, before exam, how you will be?
Sorry.
Tomorrow is your exam. Then what is your state of mind, or else? ముందు రోజు మీరు ఎలా ఉంటారు?
Okay, what, for prelims or mains?
Anything.
For prelims, because this is something very personal to me. So you like, if you want, you try. Because the prelims next day morning, I always believe that during prelims time we have to have a lot of high energy levels. So I'll have a very good meal before day and sleep peacefully for 8-9 hours. Next day morning I'll go relaxedly to this examination. I won't study that much before day basically. But at the same time I won't get too much distracted. I won't watch YouTube channels or movies and all. I just spend time with some friends or somebody, just be in a very lighter vein, not too serious about this examination or something. I'll have a proper happy meal with some of my close people, and I'll just sleep. That's it.
Sir, how did you maintain consistency during this whole phase of preparation, and what is your strategy to phase out any deviations, and how did you get yourself adapted to the hard work which is required to clear this examination, which is very much exhaustive?
With respect to consistency, the key is you have to make a schedule and you have to stick to it. Lot of people, what they do is they start preparation and they'll make schedule. They'll initially prepare a very beautiful schedule for 2-3 months in detail. But once they start missing the targets, they reschedule it, and they keep on rescheduling multiple times, and they keep slipping the targets. So please make a schedule and try to stick to it. Once you start meeting the schedules which you have created, you will get confidence on yourself. Okay.
If we cannot, sir?
Sorry?
If we cannot meet our deadlines?
You have to meet your deadlines. Make your schedules such a way that initially you will be clearing your goals. Give enough time for the initial goals. So once you start clearing, right, you will become more ambitious, and you will start making your schedule little tight, and you will start meeting them. So that is important thing. Lot of people, what they do is they'll plan to complete unrealistic schedules. They'll make finish off entire anthropology in 2-3 days, like that. So it is impossible. so make practical schedules, try to meet them. You will get confidence, and with that confidence you will write the examination also well. And the next question, what did you ask? Sorry,
how to face the exhaustiveness that we face during this phase of
exhaustiveness. Okay, that's also, have a group of serious aspirants, 3-4 serious aspirants. Whenever you study seriously, and when you are not studying, right, hang out with them. Go to some good places, watch movies occasionally. You have to take breaks also. You can't study 24/7, 365 days. It is humanly impossible. So discuss about some random topics. Like I used to gossip a lot with my friends about everything like cricket, movies and all. So these things, right, it will refresh you, and you will enjoy the process basically.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your achievements.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hi.
So first of all, congratulations, not for getting the rank, but for your consistency, sir. And my question is that yesterday I gave prelims, and unfortunately I'm unable to clear paper 1, but I'm getting less marks in CSAT. And actually this is very disgusting to me. And the thing is how to handle such situations, like about CSAT. I wrote mock tests, but in those mock tests I got I cleared CSAT around 5 tests. But unfortunately I didn't did that yesterday. So how was your strategy for CSAT?
Okay, firstly, I don't know how much exactly you're scoring and all, so I can't really say, but don't get disheartened. What I mean to say is, if you are in border case, still be optimistic till the result comes out, because lot of keys, might not be accurate. So that is one thing. But if you are very sure that CSAT was not, did not go well, please don't get disheartened. What I mean to say is, practice well for the upcoming years. Practice UPSC papers, past UPSC papers, not the coaching. Coaching also institute papers also you practice, but these are the standard ones, past UPSC questions and past UPSC papers. Practice them, you will get to know about the nature of the examination. And what else is there? Don't leave the preparation. That is what I want to say. It happens. It happened with lot of my friends also, not clearing CSAT. There was one of my friend who was decent, good in mathematics, but somehow he did not, he started with comprehensions that year, and they were very twisted and all, and towards the end he got panicked, and he did not write the mathematics part well, and he could not clear the CSAT. Such things happen. It's part and parcel of the journey. All that is necessary is, how you pick up, how you maintain that enthusiasm, and continue with the preparation. So I wish you all the best. If there are, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
So about anthropology answer writing, how was your answer distinction different from others?
As I said, I did not try much different. I also believe that it is very difficult to write the most obvious things consistently for 20 questions. That is also a challenge, 20 or 19 questions. It is very difficult. First thing is, I would try to look at the toppers' answer scripts of the previous years, and try to emulate what are the good practices they are doing. Did not do much different, because when I tried to do things very differently, it did not work out. It backfired very badly. So try to see what was the general pattern that was working for the majority of the aspirants, and try to emulate it. It will definitely reward. Don't try things very drastically differently. Like for example, a lot of people, suggest writing case studies in tribal anthropology. It's a tried and tested method. Stick to it. Write case studies. Don't, try something vague, something different in examination hall. It won't usually work for these subjects.
So I heard something like penalty marks in mains. What is that?
So penalty marks is, there are guidelines by UPSC about how to write answers. You should not, write beyond the borders. The columns will be there, right? You should not write beyond it. There were some some guidelines, standard guidelines, which were uploaded in UPSC website. You can refer them. If someone violates them, they will be penalized in the examination. Those are penalty marks.
Are those not related to answers?
I don't think so. I'm not very sure about it.
So one question. If I know 19 questions out of 20 in mains, and if I don't know and I'm unaware about the 20th question, so should I have to leave that question, or I have to write something about that?
It depends on how unaware you are. Like if it is something, it's a very specific question, it's better to leave it. Because in specific questions, right, you can easily, it can be evident that you are bluffing. But if it is something like a broad theme and all, you can try to write whatever you have known about that topic. It will definitely be helpful. But if it's for example, this year GS3 there was a question on S-400 Triumph missile and its specifications. It's a very specific question. You can't just bluff around that question. So such questions can be, or that air quality index related questions and all. So such questions, it is better, and most of the questions, they have two parts, not one part. So even in such cases, right, the part which you don't know, just leave that, and the part which you know, attempt such questions. Like that, write the answers.
Thank you, sir.
There is something that I would want to add to what Mourya had actually said regarding that negative marking. The couple of other things one has to be very careful about. One is legibility of handwriting. Illegible handwriting definitely welcomes negative marking. Second thing is, if at all you are going against the basic foundations of your constitution, they are also heavily penalized. These are the two things, in addition to whatever regular, which page you have to write, how many you can attempt and things like that. And the second other thing I want to make a mention is, if at all you have attempted the exam, yesterday you have attempted, you found any specific difficulty, you are not finding it comfortable to deal with things, you can perhaps personally meet me if if it is possible for me to help you out within your this thing, I'll be able to do that. Feel free to come and talk to me.
So one more thing I want to add in general, that whenever you find difficulty with something with respect to examination, right, approach people, seek guidance, seek help. People in industry are coaching industry are experienced in this examination. They have seen lot of people, they have seen lot of journeys. So it is okay to come out, speak your problem, and seek guidance. It will always benefit you only. So have that attitude of seeking help rather than confining yourself into a shell. That
generally happens. If something goes wrong, you suddenly go into the cocoon, you don't come out, you don't share things. You should actually give opportunity to us to help you out. Unless there is a cry from you, we cannot respond, right? So that is very important.
Regarding anthropology, like in the examination, you might have, like, we will be having options, like what might be the answers we will be writing. Though we might choose the answers to write, but sometimes it might backfire when we are writing like after getting into the option, sometimes it might backfire us, like I should not have chosen it, or I should have gone through something other. So how to deal with that stress in the examination?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So these things, right, that you have to practice with test series only. From the beginning only, when you are writing test series, this also is an integral part of writing the exam, choosing which questions to attempt. So take some time, like in the starting of the examination only, they give paper usually 5 minutes upfront before they ring the start bell. So practice your test series such a way that in 5-10 minutes you will be able to figure out what questions you are going to write, and basically that choosing the right question you have to practice by test series. In case after writing 2-3 questions, if you feel that this question is I should not have written this question, just don't go into a very negative state of mind. It's okay, like because even the other question, because you have chosen this question to write in the beginning, right? Trust your instinct that this will go well. Even though in between, if you feel that this question maybe I'm not writing up to the required expected potential, it's okay. Just finish up that question, move on to the next question and next familiar question and write it well. Then again you will gain confidence, and then again you will start moving in. Don't get stuck anywhere in this examination, while writing examination. That is most important thing. Even in prelims or even in mains, it's okay, 1 or 2 answers might not go up to your potential. This exam also across, as I said earlier, right, across answers consistency and uniformity is checked and it is rewarded well, rather than writing one question extraordinarily well and not writing the other questions up to the potential. So that is the thing.
Sir, and after not getting into the list, what is the best strategy you use to collect all the pieces you left behind? Like there might be some areas which might not did well for you, right, in the process. How did you got to know that this might be the not a good area and I have to work on it?
So that's what I have mentioned earlier also. I used to see the copies of successful candidates which they upload internet. So I can understand after seeing their copies that which areas I am lagging in. Usually I will pick up a couple of areas which I feel that I am not up to their standards, and I will work on that work on those areas. Like ethics is also a not so great area for me. So I used to read a lot of toppers copies, see how they are writing. So I was initially very bad at quoting examples, quoting thinkers and all. So gradually I try to work upon it. That's what, like identify your mistakes and work upon them. and try to, you know, rectify them in the next attempt. In this process, it's also good to seek some guidance or mentorship. That's what I have mentioned earlier also, because sometimes you are too ignorant of your own mistakes. You might be thinking that, you know, I have written so well and I'm writing consistently well for such a long period. What is wrong? And it's maybe because the examination, they are not, it's very uncertain, it's very random, they are not evaluating properly and all. So one thing I want to say is, as long as you are writing this examination, right, trust that examination is fair and transparent. Then only have that positivity. Then only you will be able to clear this examination. Then only you will be able to, you will be motivated to put your hard work. If you know that, only if you know that process is fair and transparent, you will be giving your 100%. So trust the process.
Ever felt low and meeting these 5
Yeah, many times. There are many. As I said, when things are not working for you, you have to change your circumstances. When you are surrounded by negativity, you have to somehow make some changes in your life to bring that positivity in your life. It might be by doing things which you love. For example, I gave this exam full time for 3 years, like without any job, anything. I was not able to make it to the list, and I felt very, you know, in my third attempt I couldn't even clear mains. Like earlier attempt, my second attempt I went till interview, third attempt I couldn't clear mains. So it was like a setback for me, exam wise. So I got into a very negative state of mind, and I was thinking whether it's a right decision to come to UPSC or not. But then what I did was, I realized that with job also I can, you know, tackle this, because I love my this domain also, electronics also. I used to feel happy while doing electronics things. So I decided to join job, and joining the job gave me again that positive vibes to me, and I was able to turn around my, you know, state of lows. So that's what I am not recommending everyone to do the same thing. It's just that change your circumstances. Like when you are very low and when you are very negative and all, try to get sometimes mentors also will bring positivity into your life. You know, they talk to you on a regular basis. They keep your morale high. Talk to people. And I have seen many candidates in their later attempts seeking guidance of some mentors, and you know, turning around their examination results. So like that, do something different. I mean, just don't do the same thing again and again without any results. Make some small changes in your approach and all, and it will definitely bear results.
So if we are giving attempt in 2023, best
Okay.
time to take coaching for option.
23 means, I would recommend to take coaching for optional between June and December itself. Finish off your classes by December, make some value additions between December and alongside preparing prelims from next January. And by the time of completion of prelims, right, you should be having a good notes with respect to your optional. Then between prelims and mains, the only thing you do is revise the notes multiple times, write tests, rectify your mistakes, and give the examination. Most of the first attempters, they do this. My case, what happened was, I was more focused on clearing pre in my first attempt. I did not focus much on mains. It's only after my prelims I started my optional in my first attempt. So those were blunders basically. So when one is serious about this process, lot of toppers did this. That is the thing I was mentioning. Do some research about this examination when you are entering, so that you know what is working for majority of the toppers, and you take that path. That is.
First of all, congratulations to you. And in this long journey, how you maintain your family pressure?
No, my family is actually very supportive of this. My mother used to say that even if you write 6 items sitting at home, it is fine. We can support you. They are very, you know, encouraging. It is my own insecurities that have, you know, that used to trouble me a lot, rather than my family thing. My family was very, very supportive, and I'm really lucky for that actually.
Sir. And again, suggestion for next year who are writing for 2023.
Suggestion means
how they have to schedule for the next 2023 in this for 1 year journey. How they have to schedule their preparation.
That's what I'm mentioning. So try to finish off your optional classes by December or early, so that you have a base. And ma'am was also saying that when they are starting their general studies program, the first 1 month they emphasize a lot on covering the basics. So once your basics are strong, right, you will be clear on, there are a lot of resources in the market, but you don't know how to use them. So once your basics are strong, right, then you will know what is what, and you can plan better. So try to finish off your syllabuses fast, and give enough practice on prelims. Don't neglect prelims, that's what I have mentioned. Try to do good practice for prelims, and once prelims is over, just do revision and writing tests. More writing practice between prelims and mains. That's all.
Sir, what was your exam day strategy regarding anthropology? Which questions were you attempting first?
Okay, I tried and tested a lot of approaches. This year what I did, I'll say, because I think it worked well. I attempted two these things, optional questions like 20, 15, 15. Those things initially, then 10 markers I wrote, all of the 10 markers, and last one question I used to do at the end. So that can be anything like, mostly the questions which I don't know well, I push it towards the end, so that I don't waste too much energies on too much time and energy on the questions which I don't know. I'll write something superficial for this in the last, usually you'll be short of time towards the end. So during that time it's better to deal with the questions which you don't know rather than questions which you know, because you'll lose a valuable opportunity for scoring in questions which you know.
So regarding anthropology paper 2, did you add any value regarding some reports like Kaka reports, some case studies?
Yeah, definitely they will be helpful. Valuation is very essential in paper 2. Tribal anthropology case studies or reports, quoting those reports and all. And even this Indian society also, recently I'm seeing the toppers who are, using the thinkers, sociologists, thinkers' opinions vividly. They are scoring good marks in society section.
Where did you collect these case studies and also?
So as I said, coaching materials and toppers, previous year toppers who have uploaded their notes and all, many of them did great work and uploaded them. So I used to liberally reuse whatever they have done. And myself also, I used to refer a lot of online websites, like Down to Earth is there, where you can get a lot of case studies. And Government of India, Ministry of Tribal Affairs report will be their annual report. That's also a valuable resource, like stats and all you'll get from them. And I think many your institute is also giving the PDF, summary of that report, I think. So summaries you can directly collect and...
Should we read the entire Kaka report, or just is enough for that?
I read it because I was preparing for 5 years, but I think summaries also will do good.
Quality prelims ki we go with Lakshmikant.
Okay.
So how is it different from mains? For mains ki, how do you read the same book, or we have to refer to some other material?
So importance of static portion in polity is increasing in males also. Lakshmikant reading for mains will be beneficial. Like last few years there are questions like what is financial emergency, and there are asking questions on parliamentary standing committees and all. So reading Lakshmikant for mains is also very helpful, and in polity answers, right, it is always good if you quote articles. Even so when they ask about speaker, right, you should start with the article, what article is concerned with speaker's powers in our country. So when you do such things, right, you will definitely score well. So Lakshmikant is relevant for mains also, in my opinion.
On GS 1, 2, 3 and 4, sir, like how do you fetch more marks? Like, and each paper demands a kind of
yes,
specificity, sir.
Yes.
So what do you think, sir, like 4 papers, ki different?
Different in the sense there are a lot of strategies available. You can see different is, as you said, every chapter, every paper has its own approach, every section, to be honest. Like history means you have to, be proper with the years. The year in which a particular event has occurred, you have to mention it properly in history answer. And towards the end, you have to write the current significance or the impact of such an event. Like, for example, one Quit India movement. If the question is on Quit India movement, right? In the end, you have to write how Quit India movement is significant for our Indian national movement. Like it is basically the final leg of struggle, right? It is because of that Quit India movement, the Britishers have realized that it is impossible to control such a politically enlightened country like India. So such statements you have to write towards the end, so that examiner will know that you have actually understood what the certain topic is. So these small value additions you have to do. Economy means you have to quote stats and all. Polity, as I have said, articles. These things you have to do. Many toppers have written very elaborate strategies. I also benefited from them, and I just try to emulate them rather than coming something entirely new for myself. I just try to stick what is working for a majority of the toppers.
And sir, about anthropology, మీరు diagrams draw చేయడం అదంతా చేస్తారు.
Yes, definitely. They are very important. So when teachers say something in the class, right, it's with lot of experience they say. They have seen a lot of people, what works for them. They don't say anything vaguely. So when you are taking a coaching or a class, right, trust those teachers. It's very important to have that trust. I mean, in general, not only. No, not only that, in general, whatever teacher you are taking the classes, right, start with a positive thing, start with a trust, then maybe then only that classes you will be able to focus well. That's it.
Something that he has asked, I mean, I like that kind of an understanding that every paper, every subject has got its own kind of a chemistry. So always see to it that whatever topic that is coming in your exam, link it, try to understand why in the contemporary times it is asked. So if a question was there on India and Brazil, you should know the philosophy behind that kind of a relationship. And those philosophical understanding of every question should come into your answer. Irrespective of which topic of general studies you are talking about, the philosophy behind that particular relationship or that particular topic has to be there in your answer. And thanks for rekindling trust in the teacher.
Sir, as you mentioned earlier, you felt it in the beginning of your journey, lethargy about writing answers.
Yes.
So I would like to know what were the difficulties you felt when you started really writing tests, like speed or number of questions,
speed
writing, or else anything else in revision stress. I mean, what did you do
yes, I will.
Each of the.
So basically, my first problem was I'm a very slow writer. So when I start in the first 1 hour, usually I write 50 marks, attempt 50 marks. Next 1 hour, earlier, not now, 50 marks. Next 1 hour, it will be like 70 marks. So 70, 80 marks. So I'll be left with like 120 to 130 marks in the last 1 hour. In last 1 hour, I go to this scribbling mode and I used to write. That's how my first attempt went, and it's a very big disaster. So after that, what I used to do is I practice extensively on writing. I used to write well, but still this problem used to persist. Like, when you start writing the paper, even in exam stress, it is very difficult in the first 1 hour to get that momentum. Most of the candidates hardly attempt 60 questions in the first 1 hour. It's only towards the end they'll pick up the speed. So what I used to do is, to the examination center, I used to take some model test series paper and few white sheets. And 20 minutes before that examination, right, like half an hour before the examination, I used to sit calmly at a corner and used to start attempting questions there only. So 5 questions or 4 questions in 20-30 minutes I used to write, so that my hand will get out of that inertia. So in examination hall, like I enter examination hall just 10-15 minutes before the examination commences. So right after they give paper, right, I jump into that writing mode rather than thinking and all. That is what I think it worked for me in the later attempts.
While you were practicing, did you felt, how do you manage that? Early, like, did you start with attempting just 3/4 of questions with quality, or else did you manage to write all the questions with minimum code in the earlier stages?
Basically, you have to attempt most of the questions, if not all. I'm not saying every question it is attempt, but most of the questions, at least 18-19 questions you have to attempt. That will fetch you good marks. So at the same time, quality is also important. It's not like you have to go. In my second attempt, I overcame the speed disability. Like I was able to finish off papers, but still I did not get good marks in GS because quality, as ma'am was just saying, right, quality means you have to expose what your understanding to the examination. You have to write what is the relevance, the contemporary relevance, all these things, right, value addition. So these things are forms the qualitative part of examination, and that is also really important because these days everyone know that writing papers is a must. Filling papers is a must. Attempting 20 questions is a must. So everyone is able to reach that level of completing the papers. No one is leaving anything behind. So you should differentiate only with the quality of your answers.
Sir, one final question I have from my side. How did you retain whatever you have read? Like, retaining the subject is also very important. So what worked for you?
So it is something which worked for a large number of toppers, and I also got to learn, got to know from many toppers. The thing is, it's multiple revision. You have to revise at least 3-4 times, and while revising also, make your notes crisper for every revision. So when you are reading something and you make notes for the first time, it will be little elaborate. When for the second time, you just highlight on the first written notes the most important points. And final day, like by the final time revision, right? Only the most essential or the statistics will be in your notes, rest of the content will be in your mind. So just before going to the examination, right, you just briefly, you should be able to cover the entire paper the crisp notes within half an hour to 1 hour, and go to the examination. The quality of your answers will be very good. Like that is what worked for a lot of toppers, and I hope that will work for you also.
Sir, any resources rather than the standard resources that fetched you a lot, like personally?
As I have mentioned, following toppers copies is one thing which have immensely helped a lot. Their notes also, toppers notes also, it helped me, it gave me a perspective of what is really working in this examination. Since I have tried and tested a lot of things in this exam, most of the toppers I felt they are doing things where, their approach is very common. Like they are not doing things very different or very extraordinarily, but they are committing, sticking to that process. Like as I have mentioned earlier also, that if there is an economy, most of them are starting with a stat, and if there is a tribal anthropology question, most of them are including a tribal case study. So these are some some unwritten guidelines have emerged. Like if you are thorough with this sort of thing, right? Like going through toppers copies and all, you yourself will get to know what is working.
Sir, and for anthropology, what current affairs, like there will be many things which will be happening in the years, right? For anthropology current affairs, and what did you added by year on year? Like from where did you added it?
Okay, case studies I have mentioned this down to earth, and there are a few previous year toppers answers as well as their notes which they have uploaded. I have used them, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and just Google. When you feel when you're not studying anything actually and you're taking some breaks, right? So just try to Google topics which are there in your syllabus. You'll get to know what is the most current thing that was happening in the search results, and sometimes you can value add from there also. Like keep it as a hobby, sometimes as something which refreshes you. Just read and note down somewhere in your notes or something. Later part when you're revising, that will be there in your mind. So do such activities, it will be beneficial.
Thank you.
There is something that I want to add. What's your name? Kaushik. There is something that I would want to add to what he said. If at all you are highly inquisitive about the case studies, current affairs and things like that, pehle to as it is always said, basics is very important. Without basics, you cannot actually build the superstructure. So foundational strength is very, very important. And once that is done, if at all you are highly enthusiastic of adding a lot of case studies here on, you choose 1 or 2 journals of any popular journals, one national, one international journal, and keep looking into them quarterly or half yearly journals whenever they come, because everything that you see in the internet cannot be put on your paper. There has to be an authenticity. So authentic sources are something that are very important. As it is already said by him, there are websites, the Government of India website or a popular international organization's website, where from if your dependency is there, then authentically you can put it in the examination. That is very important.
Yes, actually ma'am said a very good point. You have to start practicing how to quote those sources in your examination. When you add some case study, you write case study and write your own stories, right? People will punish you. So you have to quote where you found the case study, the journal name, or the scholar who had worked in certain area. I think this attempt, my paper 2, I did such things, and it worked out very well. I said that last time I got 110, this time I got 148, which was very good score comparatively. So I think these things like quoting an authentic scholars and all, this will definitely help. Also, a lot of times you will get very not subject to very superficial questions like this year 10 markers in this year means 2021, 10 markers of paper 2, they were like that. I can't recollect the questions, but many questions were like that. They are very abstract. Questions are very abstract. So in such cases, right, quoting case studies with authentic sources, quoting scholars, they will differentiate your answer from the people who are just writing stories in the examination hall.
You should not become a case study for the examiner.
Sir, how much time should be given to analyze the daily newspaper, and is there any other resource than newspaper?
Yeah, I mean with practice, right, I think you will be able to manage the newspaper within 30 to 45 minutes with practice. Initially, the first time a fresher, when he starts a newspaper, it will take 3 to 4 hours, because it's the first time in his life he is studying a newspaper after coming to UPSC preparation. So, but with practice, when you consistently read newspaper daily, right, you will be able to reduce the time, and within 45 minutes to 1 hour, let's say 45 minutes to 1 hour, you read only the most important item, most relevant items with respect to examination. Keep the syllabus, I mean, in your mind and initially handy, so that you know what is relevant for the exam and what is not. Don't spend more time and energy on articles which are not relevant to the examination. That way you will be able to cut down the time which you are spending on newspapers.
Refer to the monthly magazines without making a note. Can we refer to monthly magazines?
Can you refer?
Refer to monthly magazines instead of making online notes or handwritten notes.
You can refer to monthly magazines, but you instead of referring to what?
Instead of doing the daily work
Of handwritten notes or online making notes,
Okay.
instead of doing that, can we refer to monthly magazines after reading the newspapers?
So, I mean, there are a lot of things that works for aspirants these days, but my view is apart from monthly magazines, you have to also do one newspaper. That is definitely, because while studying newspaper, right, you will get your own thoughts and perspectives. You will find some example or case study which is, which you feel it is relevant for the examination. Maybe the person who had made those compilations or the magazines, he might not feel those are relevant, but you feel that. And that helps in differentiating your answers from the others who are blindly following the magazines and other resources. So that newspaper is something which makes you, your newspaper study is something which makes you different from the rest of the aspirants, is what I think.
you might find it difficult to write down physically, but then maybe perhaps you can type and things like that.
Yes.
Daily in touch with, being in touch with the newspaper, there is no replacement for that actually. You need not have to totally take it down to your note and all, but at least as it is said to have 40-30 minutes, within 40-30 minutes it is manageable to know what is important in that paper. One paper you can.
So in an editorial, right, for any newspaper, there will be hardly 4 or 5 crux points which are which you will be able to identify. So just if you can note down or if you can type somewhere, it will be helpful. Like while revising during the final revision, right, it will be helpful and you will be able to write answers better. That is what I feel.
Sir, this question is about detailed application form, sir.
Okay.
Is there any standard official criteria for choosing the state cadres, order of state cadres? And the other question is there any, I mean, what are your top 5 preferred services and why you choose them? Why you chose them?
Okay, I went with the crowd basically, top 5. It's IAS, IPS, foreign service, revenue, both the revenue services. That's the thing. And what was the second one? State cadres and all, right?
Is there any official standard criteria for
There is
choosing
no
the state
official standard criteria. It's up to you only. Whatever you want to choose, you can choose. There is a zonal policy that is existing. You can choose one state in one zone like the other state in other zone. I think UPSC will give the guidelines, like when you are filling the DAF, right, there will be detailed guidelines on how to fill them and what is what. So following them, you can fill your own options. By giving options to you, they are asking you what are your preferences. So you can fill anything you want. It's up to your thing.
How social media affected your preparation?
So actually I don't have Instagram account because I started in 2007 and Insta was slowly getting popular then. So I was cut out of that and I never had to open it. WhatsApp and all, just close to the examination I used to uninstall it, like maybe 1 month before the examination and all. Telegram was very helpful for me. That was an app where a lot of channels related to UPSC are there and many communities are there, and I benefited from Telegram a lot. Facebook though it became no, I mean very few people are using it now, so it did not affect me that much, social media basically. So the thing is, whatever it is there, everything has its own benefits and negatives. It's up to you how you have to take advantage of the benefits and try to cut down on the negatives. Like Telegram, I have said, right? It's also a social media platform, but it's benefiting a lot of aspirants. So try to use such social media apps and make the most out of it.
Thank you, sir, for patiently answering each and every question. So I request Sosin ma'am to facilitate sir with a momentum.
Lastly, before that, I just want to conclude. It's very nice interacting with you all. Like, I was able to revisit my journey because of your questions, and it's a good experience. I wish everyone all the best. I sincerely wish you all come out of this examination with flying colors. And always try to be positive irrespective of the result. It's okay even if you clear or not clear, but in life that positivity has to be there, and you should do good things for yourself as well as the country. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I personally want to thank you for coming here, talking to the students, and as I always say, you should actually enjoy the journey of your preparation. That's very, very important. Unless otherwise you enjoy the journey, you will not be able to put the best of your efforts. It is not that many people keep thinking they think of doing things. I mean, they get into that pressure. Instead of getting into that pressure, doing is what is more important, and I think that's where it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And a small reminder, on 12th, I request you to be there to meet many other toppers and take whatever insights, whatever. Sometimes what happens is even a single statement which a successful candidate might have made, that would really make an impact. Both of us were harping over this fact of writing. I do not know what you wrote down from this 1.5 hours of talk that you had with him. Thank you so much.